Hello everyone, welcome back to Phoenix. I'm Phoenix, but you can call me Feeny, and today we are going to be playing Alba on Apple Arcade. Let's get into it. Alright, so this game is one of the cutest games I have ever played. I absolutely adore it, and I am currently in the process of playing it through. So, with that being said, I do still have some gripes about this game and the different platforms it's on. So I started this game on my phone, and as you can see, one of the biggest quirks I would think about this game is that you use the top section to look around and you use the bottom to move, and it's really not intuitive and it doesn't really work because you can't like look around while you're running. So it's not ideal at all, and it makes walking around really tedious. Later in the game, I've been playing on my phone mainly because portability, not because it's the best experience, but portability. It makes me look at the ground 24/7, and I cannot look at anything else, which, by the way, the entire point of the game is to be taking pictures of animals and finding animals. That defeats the entire purpose because so far I have only found one gecko lizard thing. So, like, looking at the ground isn't gonna do anything for me. Sir, my cat's being annoying. He's being a nuisance. He won't just lay down. I'll put up a picture now of where I like him to lay on my desk, but right now he's playing with a pen, which is completely unhelpful. He's going to lap jail. The controls are just horrible. The one thing I find cool about playing on the phone is that you can like look around. So your it acts as a real camera. So like when you're in your phone, you have to look around with your phone to look around in game. You don't have to, but every other way is super slow, and you know, you're looking at birds a lot of the time, so you want to be fast. So that's definitely a weird quirk, but partially enjoyable, partially not, depending on what kind of situation you're in, because if you're like at the airport playing this game, you don't want to be that one person that's like moving their phone around in weird directions, making people think you're taking a video of them. But I guess people do that with like Pokemon Go and stuff, so maybe it's fine. You are being a demon, sir. He's playing with a hair tie. It's fine. So, the phone is an okay experience other than the fact that literally you are looking at the ground about 90% of the time because 90% of the time you're on the move. Moving on to my iPad, this was pretty much the exact same experience as my phone except worse. Why do I say worse? Well, because, you know, you have the looking down thing. Well, I don't remember if that was the case on the iPad, but it's cumbersome. I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and you have to play in portrait mode, and just think about like sitting there two-handing your iPad and you're having to do some stuff and like tap all over it. Let me tell you, it's not comfortable, and it's certainly not comfortable when you're trying to take a photo of an animal to have to move your entire iPad up, down, left, right, around. It's not fun. So I do not recommend this game on an iPad. You're being a public nuisance. He's playing with a rock now. Anyways, so I do not recommend playing on the iPad at all. It was probably one of the worst experiences I've had playing games thus far. Otherwise, it would be fine, but it's really just the fact that at least my iPad is so big and cumbersome to hold like that. It's not the game for it, so keep that in mind. Moving on to my computer. This was probably the best experience to play this game. It was wonderful. I tried the keyboard and trackpad and it was workable. I'm sure you can do it. What really made the experience? Connecting a controller and playing that way. And let me tell you, that is the way you should be experiencing this game, or at least it is highly recommended by me to play the game with a controller. I'm not sure if the iPad accepts controller. I think it does. I just don't know if it'll accept it through the game. But that is the way to play this game, is with a controller, because you can look all around while you're running, and that makes bird watching so much easier, looking for animals that much easier, and thus pretty much the entire game that much easier. The only sad portion is that you can't like look around like you can with your phone. but that sacrifice is greatly outweighed by the ease of movement and looking around on the computer with a controller. So, little sacrifices, right? You can't have everything. With that being said, let's move on to saves. So saving was wonderfully fine throughout the entire experience. I had no issues with saves, and so it's going to be a boring section in a good way. So for my final thoughts, I love this game. I'm still playing it through. It is such a cute game, though I do question why they are trusting children with some of these tasks. One of the tasks later on in the game is, spoiler warning, kind of, you ask a carpenter to come help you repair a bridge, and then she just gives these 10 to 14-year-olds, I think they're 10 to 14, a kit to repair the bridge, the tools to repair the bridge themselves, and go repair them. Girl, do you trust a bridge that was built by a 14-year-old? I don't know if I would, but sure, you do you. It's just those little things that I'm like, really? I mean, it makes more for the player to do and more fun for me, but the logistics of that just doesn't quite make sense. And with that, and with questioning the logistics of the game, I will leave you. Goodbye.
Yeah, hey. Cause I can't write, I can't learn my lesson. I can't write, take antidepressants. Illness and welfare on my adolescence, my friends.